করবে নেটওয়ার্ক কি করছে নেটওয়ার্ক তো নেটওয়ার্ক ইয়াতে চার্জার
বাইট ভাইবা ভালটা রইছে না
জয়েনের ভিডিও করুন কি লাগে এখন ভিডিওটা
কৰবি কিহেদি জয়েন কৰিছে কোনটো গেলেক্সি J5 নেকি মেহেদি তোমাৰ সাউন্ডটো একদম ভাঙি ভাঙি আহিছে সব বাহিৰত বহা ভাল হ'ব কি দিছে ইয়াৰ ইম্পেক্ট এলাও মেহেদি বাহিৰত বহিলে ভাল হ'ব তোমাৰ একদম সাউন্ড ভাঙি আহিছে তোমাৰ সাউন্ড ভাঙিলে নহ'ব না এইখিনিতে কৰবাত এই যে এই টেবুলটো উলিয়াই লওঁ নেকি টেবুলটো আৰু নাই নাই ইয়াতে টেবুল আছে তো আৰু মেহেদি তোমাৰ ল্যাপটপত চাৰ্জ কিমান আছে চাৰ্জ সাউন্ড ভালকে আহা নাই তোমাৰ চোৱা এবাৰ ট্ৰাই কৰা
স্যার একবার টেস্ট করছেন স্যার শুনতে পাচ্ছেন
হ্যাঁ শুনতে পাচ্ছি
দাদা আহিলো আহিলো
কি হয়েছে চার্জ নাই
লাইভ
আসতে দেরি হয়েছে না নাকি? আমরা তো 9:30 আসা, বিশ্বজিৎ আসছে, তোমারও দেরি হয়েছে একটু।
কৰা মোবাইল আহি আছে ন ইয়াত তোমাৰ বাহিৰত এই হেৰি কৰি নহয় ন মই এডমিট কৰি দি আছো তোমাক কি দি জইন কৰিবা তোমাৰ নামটো আহিব নে কি আহিব আহিছে তোমাৰ নামটো অহা নাই দেখোন অলৰেডি জইন হলা নেকি আহিছে ৰবা জইনিং হৈ কৰি দিয়া মই এড কৰিব নোৱাৰি বাৰু কথাখিনি ক'ব পাৰি মোৰ যিখিনি কথা তুমি কথাখিনি ক'ব লাগে
Galaxy J5 কোনটো হয় স্যার কাৰ কৰবি
নাই কৰবি অলৰেডি দিয়া হৈছে তাক পষ্ট বনাই দিছো মই
ওকে
আমাৰ গোটেইকেইটা হৈ গৈছে কল্যাণ জইন কৰা নাই দেখোন এতিয়া
বাইরে বসা যায় না
তাতে নেটওয়ার্ক আছে
মোবাইল কানেক্টেড আছে না
মোট করে ধরে নেওয়া মোড়ে ধরা নেটওয়ার্ক এটা ভালো আছে
Hello.
Hello.
No, sir. ঠিক আছে।
মই এডমিট কৰি আছো চব আপোনাক এডমিট কৰিলো আৰু বহুত সময় দিছো
Kalyan, welcome.
Hi, Mr.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
দেখি ভাল লাগিল।
Yeah. নেটৱৰ্কটো ভাল যেনে লাগিছে।
নেটৱৰ্ক আছে ঠিকে। তোমাৰ তাতে
ভিডিঅ' ঠিকে দেখিছে নে?
ভিডিঅ'টো মাতটো অকণ ঠিকে আছে স্ক্ৰীনটো শ্বেয়াৰ হৈছে তোমাৰ এইটোতো
ভইচটো ঠিক আছে নে?
আহিছে
ঠিক আছে।
মোক দেখুৱাই আছে নেকি মই ক'ত ইয়াত মানে হা দেখাই আছে এতিয়া নাই তোমাক ক'ত দেখাইছে এতিয়া দেখাইছে তোমাৰ 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 আছে
Sound bro. আৰম্ভ কৰোঁ নেকি?
প্ৰিন্সিপাল ছাৰক কোৱা হৈছে নে নাই? You are not hearing the sound. Message দিয়েছে sound বলে নাই
এডমিট কৰি আছা না?
স্টার্ট করেন নাকি করবে?
তোমার কিছু পরীক্ষা দেখে তুমি যদি তুমি এনে বর্তমানে তোমার যেটা রাখি আইসে
Shall I start? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Korobi, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Respected Principal Sir, Dr. R.N. Sinha, respected Resource Person, Dr. Kalyan Raidania Sir, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, IIT Guwahati, all the respected faculties of different colleges, universities, students, and my dear friends. A warm welcome to all in this national webinar on the topic Comprehension of Material Science through Natural Clay Minerals, organized by Department of Chemistry, Science College Kokrajhar in collaboration with IQAC Science College Kokrajhar. I am Korbi Sharma, faculty, Department of Chemistry, and your host for this session. Thank you all for taking out time and being here today. Before going to start the session, I request all the participants please turn off their audio to conduct the session smoothly. Thank you. So I would like to request Mr. Mrityunjay Brahma, Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, to give a brief idea about the agenda of the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Korobi Sharma. I welcome everyone in today's webinar. I'm here to give you an overview about the different agendas of today's webinar. In this series, first we will have a welcome speech by Dr. Sharmistha Chakraborty, Chairperson of the webinar and HOD, Department of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar. Then there will be an inaugural speech by Dr. R.N. Sinha, Patron of the webinar and Principal of Science College, Kokrajhar, followed by introduction of the resource person by Mr. Mehdi Al-Kausar, Convener of the webinar and Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar. Right after that, valuable talk on comprehension of materials science through natural clay minerals by Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, IIT Guwahati, followed by an interaction session led by Mr. Mehdi Al-Kausar, convener of the webinar. After that, we will have vote of thanks by Mr. Biswajit Nath, Coordinator IQAC and Assistant Professor of Department of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar. And at last, there will be declaration of the end of the webinar by Dr. Sharmistha Chakraborty, HOD, Department of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar. Now, without further ado, I hand over the charge to Ms. Korobi Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So as per agenda, I request Dr. Sanmista Chakraborty ma'am, HOD, Department of Chemistry, to give the welcome address. Ma'am.
A very good morning to all of you. In the midst of this pandemic scenario, all of us are confused and puzzled what to do, what not to do. And in this condition, I think nothing is more important or more fruitful than creative activity. And this attempt of us is like that. First of all, on behalf of Family of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar, I offer my heartiest welcome to Honorable Speaker Kalyan Raidongia, Associate Professor, IIT Guwahati. Sir, most welcome to this webinar. And one and all are heartily welcome by us in today's webinar. Actually, this time, this planning was making from earlier, but due to the pandemic scenario, due to the COVID situations, we could not utilize this plan. But today we are going to make it happen. Let's enjoy this technical session by our honorable speaker. And thank you again. Most welcome to our Department of Chemistry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Is Principal Sir joined? Is Sir joined? Principal Sir? Hello. Okay, so now I request our Principal Sir, Dr. Arhan Sinha, to inaugurate the session with your valuable words. Sir, over to you.
Very good morning to everybody. I am very much delighted and extend my thanks to the Department of Chemistry for initiating such a webinar. Especially the faculty members of the chemistry department are very, what I mean to say, they're very laborious and dedicated in the college. And I hope that to make the webinar successful, the department and faculty have taken initiatives for which I welcome to all the faculty members. I think this program will be successful. Within the 3 words, we would like to deploy the webinar now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging and motivation speech. Now,
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, I would like to request Mehdi Al Kosi, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, to give an introduction of our resource person, Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, sir. Sir, over to you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Probably, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes.
A very good morning to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce before you about Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry of IIT Guwahati. Dr. Kalyan Raidongia has done his MSc in 2005 from Department of Chemistry, Guwahati University, and then he has done his MS in 2008 under the supervision of professors none other than C.N.R. Rao and Professor M. Iswaramurthy from Jawaharlal Nehru Center of Advanced Scientific Research, Bangalore, India. Then in 2012-11, he was awarded his PhD degree from Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, Bangalore, India, under the supervision of Professor C.N.R. Rao and Professor M. Iswaramurthy. Then from 2011 to 2015, he has done his postdoctoral works at Material Science and Engineering Department, Northwestern University, Evanston, Illinois of United States of America, under the supervision of Professor Jia Singh Huang. In the year 2005, he has joined Department of Chemistry, IIT Guwahati, as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry. He has been awarded as the DST Ramanujan Fellowship from Science and Engineering Research Board, India, in 2015. His current research efforts are focused on creation of multifunctional nanofluids devices fabricated by using only scissors and papers of reconstructed layered materials. He is also working on eco-friendly synthesis of cheap and renewable materials for energy storage and hydrogen evaluation. His research work expertise is primarily in the area of synthesis, characterization, and properties of technologically important functional materials. He also have experience of setting up of new reactors for chemical vapor deposition, aerosol synthesis, and fixed bed catalytic reactions. He has published more than 40 research papers in reputed journals in the world of chemistry like ACS, Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, etc. He has 2,554 citations with a ACE index of 18 and I10 index of 24 as per Google Scholar citation reports as of now. Last year in the month of December 2019, nationwide a news was in focus across the country that a team of researchers from the IIT Guwahati has developed materials that can produce energy from flowing or stagnant water in households. The decentralization of energy model involving a large number of small generation devices can generate energy in every household, and the excess energy has produced can be evacuated to energy deficient areas nearby. So this team was led by none other than Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, sir. So we are very much lucky that Dr. Raidongia is among with us in this platform, and we look forward to hear from him. So thank you, everyone. Now it's over to you, Corby.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. We have great privilege to have Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, sir. So now we have our presentation session. So may I request our respected resource person, Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, sir, to take over the session. Sir.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction.
Okay, sir.
It's a long introduction with a bit pressure on the speaker. Thank you very much. So at first, I would like to thank all the sir and madam, especially our HOD ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to talk to the students about some of our research activity. So actually, I am always nervous whenever it comes to a webinar. I hope you all can see my slides.
Yes,
Yes,
sir, we can see.
Please, whenever I go invisible, please let me know.
sure, sir.
Anyways, I hope someday I will be having an opportunity to talk to you directly in person. I would love to visit there. I went once, brother. I really like the place. If I get the opportunity, definitely I would like to come there and give a talk in person. So, anyways, because of this situation, we cannot help. We have to use this technique to convey our message, our whatever we have done in IIT Guwahati. So today, I thought that as per the feedback from your HOD ma'am, that most of the audience will be students. So I will focus mainly to students. So for experts, it may be very simple or repetitive. Please excuse me for the same. So basically what I have decided is like I will introduce to you what is material science, what is the need, and how we can make use of it. Okay. Yeah, please let me know if I am not audible, okay? Yeah. So before going to the actual talk, I just want to mention that we all know technology is evolving every day. Every day, new things are coming to our life, which is mainly to make our life better, easier, and safer. Uh, Even in the remotest past part of the our society, remotest village, we cannot go in a day without using technology. Every day, new technologies are coming. For example, we have cars now. Cars are coming where you don't have to actively drive. You can go in autopilot mode. You don't have to involve in driving. Then you can have all the facilities which can help cultivation in a much more easier and efficient way. In every aspect of our life, technology is taking over. So if we think about it, what give us this technology? What is the driving force behind all this technology we have? So first thing always like it involves lots of hard work of thousands of people, innovative ideas, and logical thinking. So many works involved in every technology. But all this technology, all this thinking, it will not be materialized if we don't have the appropriate material with us. If we don't have the material, the thinking alone or like our ideas or knowledge alone cannot give us a technology. We finally need a materials. For example, for this self-driven cars, we need some materials, something that will change constantly all the surrounding environment, and it will direct us where to go or how to go on the road. If anything is coming, it will automatically sense and stop the car. Similarly, if we want to have this internet of things, which means like we can control everything from a one place through internet. For example, I came to office, I forgot to lock the fridge, then I can put on log on to my smartphone, and I can find out that refrigerator is off or not, door is open, and you can close it directly. Now we can have an instrument at IIT Guwahati that can be operated from United States of America or any part of the world. All these things is possible because we have the appropriate material that can send out the signal or that can receive the signal and analyze the data and decide what to do. So all this technology, whatever we have, is based on the exact portion of material we have available to do the technology or make the things. And even though sometimes we have the idea like we want to make a smart food that will not break even it falls down or even it goes inside water, but it's not there. Even though we have the knowledge, we have the technique to do it, it's not there yet because we don't have a material that is transparent and that is conducting enough to be touch sensitive as well as very hard that it is not unbreakable. So people are working on it to make such materials. So that is what I mean to say. For example, everyone would like to have a bulletproof vest to protect our soldiers. That bulletproof vest should be light enough so that they will be comfortable in all weather conditions and they can carry it easily, and it should be cheap enough that we can give one to each of our soldiers. But it's not available because the material involved in this bulletproof vest are very expensive and not very comfortable to wear. So similarly, we would like to have our electric cars where we can charge a battery in 5-10 minutes and run the car for the whole day, but it's not available. Even though we have the knowledge, we have the understanding, we have the requirement, it's not there because we don't have the appropriate material to make such batteries. So that is what I mean to say, that all the technology, even though we have the knowledge, we have the techniques how to do it, we need the appropriate material to materialize to our ideas. Now what? Now already we know, actually all of us, I hope with science college or science background, we know that we have very limited number of elements in our periodic tables that can be used to make materials. Now all this material, all the elements are having different combination with each other to make different materials. All the natural materials what we had is already explored and we have made technology out of it. Now to get beyond this existing technology, because every day we would like to have more comfort in our life, we want our life to be more safe and greener. So we need new materials so that new technology will evolve. For that, the number of elements will not change, it will remain same. So for that, we have to make a different combinations, a different length scale to make new materials. That is where the material science comes. Material science, what we do, we change the structure of the material to change the properties. And once we get the properties, we can make them in proper application in it to get new technology, new things. So it's a triangle, like every time we change the structure of the existing material to get some better properties. And every time we get a better properties, we get a good application. This is called the structure property relationships. And sometimes we have an application in our mind, we don't have the material, so we go and tune the structure of existing material so that we get the desired properties. So I will have another simple example to show the relationship between structure and properties. Everyone have seen these things like how we make a concrete pillar which is very strong, which can hold a very long weight and make our house very strong. And where we have seen the rods are arranged in a particular structure. Then I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we make a like structure, and after this structure, we fill up with our concrete, raw cement, stone, sands, everything, whatever we need to fill up. Just imagine if we don't make this structure, we can just take some rod and put essas and put our concrete around it. You will not get the same strength. The properties will be very, very different. That is the basics of material science. The way we arrange the existing thing, we get different properties, different materials, properties, and because of this difference on the structure, we can get new material. For example, we want something very hard, we can arrange our things in a different way. If we want something very soft, we can arrange our things in a different way. Thus, by using same material, same element, we can make a materials with different properties. So that's the main message. So I will now discuss from clay point of view, how like practically we change the structure of our material to get new properties. First, I will give introduction to clay. Clay is nothing but a part of soil. We all know, we have all like interacted with soil every day. So it's a very complicated mixture of living and non-living object. We will not discuss about the living organism today. So non-living objects, we have like different components, but the most dominant component is the clay, which decide the quality of the soil. If we have a good amount of good kind of clay, the soil is to be very good, or like whatever it is, nature will be determined by the nature of clay. So if we look into the clay, it's a phyllosilicate. What actually means it's a layered material. If we zoom into the clay and go inside to see how the atoms and molecules are arranged inside the clay, we'll see some layers like that. It's like a book. All the pages are layered one upon another, right? Or is a bundle of notes. It's like everything is stacked one upon another.
Vodafone network.
Okay, and if we zoom in further, each layers we'll see some tetrahedral sheet and octahedral sheets. All these tetrahedral sheets are made up of silica tetrahedral, and on the octahedral sheets are made up of magnesium and aluminium oxides or hydroxides. Now, depending upon the way these sheets, tetrahedral sheet and octahedral sheets are arranged, clays will have different properties. It will show different characteristics. And based on that, it has been characterized into different subgroups. For example, when a clay sheet is made up of one octahedral sheets, one tetrahedral sheets, we call it 1:1 clay. Similarly, when we have one octahedral sheet sandwiched between two tetrahedral sheets, it's called 2:1 clay. Similarly, we have 2:1 or 2:2 kind of clays. One thing we should remember, in every clay minerals, clay sheets, we have some negative charge on it, because some of the silica atom from the silica tetrahedron is replaced by some lower valency atoms. Because of that, we have some negative charge on its surface. So these are basically charged species. Each layers, and there we in a particular clay crystal we have millions of such layers stacked one upon another. That's the basic structure of clay. And clay has been one of the most trusted friend of our society. From the prehistoric time, clay is helping us in living in various ways. They are helping us. For example, clays are plastic. When you put some water, it's plastic. We can give plastic means we can give shape as we wish, and it has been used to make different pottery or different instrument since the Jamun culture. That is 14,000 BC. Before Christ, 14,000 itself, people have made this kind of structure using clay, and which were used in that time. Similarly, people know that it has charged species. They don't know the exact science behind it, but somehow they realized that clay has charged particle, and that's why it is used for cleaning. Even very recent days, I know my grandfather and all this grandfather kind of those peoples, old peoples have used clay particle to clay things. And people know that around 5,000 BC itself, we have evidence to show that people have used clay particles to clean their clothes or fleece or something else, like it's a cleaning agent, because people know that its structure has some because of its charged surface, it can form a very nice composite materials with organic molecules. And that was used by Maya tribes, which was a very old tribe, more than 1,000 years ago. They have it was there in now what is called America and Mexico. They have made some paint using those pigment by using some organic molecules mixed with clay. Somehow they realized it that this will survive a long time, and even after thousands of years, the paintings are still existing. Colors are not fading away. So they know that this is a very useful material to use in this way. Similarly, in the modern days, we use clays for various applications. For example, clay can form a very nice colloidal dispersion. We all know mud, how nice, slippery and smooth material. This has been widely used as a drilling fluid now to lubricate the drill bit, maintain the hydrostatic pressure, all these things. The clays are used in modern days. Similarly, clay can like very stable in high temperature, and it is a thermal insulator. It won't let the temperature go into waste by diffusing it to atmosphere. That is why all the furnaces, whatever furnaces we can make, all these inner layers were made up of clay, so that we can protect the temperature, so energy will not get waste, so that we can make whatever like high temperature things we want to make. Similarly, people have used its like property, like it can exchange the cations. It has very high cation exchange capacity to remove the pollutants. Some of the heavy metals are very much polluted our environment, and somehow people realize that clay has a high cation exchange capacity, so they have used this material to remove all these pollutants. Similarly, it is also used to protect the radioactive waste, because nowadays so many research and technology involved using radioactive materials. So somewhere we have to dispose this radioactive material because they are very hazardous. So we can make a chamber of clay where this can be nicely protected, through which all the waste generated during this radioactive work can be protected. Similarly, the acidic character of clay is used now as a solid acid catalyst for a wide range of organic transformation. Now, so far what I mean to say, like clay has a definite structure. Because of this structure, some properties are arriving. All these properties has been erased to make some technology, make some useful stuff. That has been going on for a very long time. From prehistoric time, people are using this structure property relationship to do some important things. Now, what we have started doing in our laboratory is like we have taken one of the very common clay, that is vermiculate clay. This is mostly used in the indoor plantation because this clay can hold the water molecules for a very long time. That means you don't have to water your plants very frequently. If you water it once, it will hold the water for a very long time. And this is very safe. It's like any nursery you go, you will get this clay. Now this is how it looks like. If you zoom in, the particles, clay looks like some particle, and you can, if you carefully see, you can see the layered structure in it. Now what we have done, we have exchanged the cations present between the clay layers, and we have exfoliated. That means when you do the reaction with sodium chloride and lithium chloride, then we can make a uniform dispersion of these clay layers. And within these clay layers, what we can see, it has many sheets in it, this dispersion. That means all the sheets are exfoliated. The sheets are very wide, some tens of thousands of micrometer, but thickness is just 1 or 2 nanometer. That means it's like a very wide, like our bed sheet, even bigger bed sheet, but thickness is very small, things are very wide. Now, when you just imagine, so for example, a newspaper, very wide but very thick, you allow it to fall on. What will happen? It will always stay one upon another. It is very unlikely that if you throw a bed sheet on the ground, it will stay vertically. It will always fall down horizontally. And when you allow to stack horizontally so many sheets, thousands of sheets one upon another, you get a freestanding membrane like this. Now, we had initially we had a particle-like structure of a clay. Now we can make a membrane of the same. And if we zoom in the edge of this membrane, we can see these membranes are made up of stacking of layers. Many layers stack one upon another to form this membrane. This is a new kind of form of clay. And now we explore this new form of clay, what properties it will exhibit and what kind of applications we can do with this kind of new form of clay. That is, basically we try to tune the structure to get new properties of clay. Now, first thing is like when you make a freestanding film like this, it is made up of various layers. All the layers are stacked one upon another to make this film. Now, in between these stacks, we have very small space, something around 1.1 or 1 nanometer space. And through this space, we can study how molecules or ion transport through confined space. That is a very important area of research because people wanted to know how molecular atoms behave inside very small space, confined space, because behavior is different. That is almost sure. But it is very difficult to make such small channels that I will show shortly. Here we have made a device out of this freestanding film to study such transport behavior of ions through this confined space. We have cut this membrane into rectangular piece, put them inside a PGMS film, which is a hydrophobic material, and dig some holes in both ends and put our electrolyte. Whatever conductivity of whichever ion we want to check through these channels, we can put the ions here in both this electrolyte then we can measure how they transport through these channels. Before going to that actual things, I just want to show that like how this kind of channels I usually make. For example, one of the technique to make these small channels to study properties of material under confined space is ion track etching. What we do here, this is not we do actually. Normally people do this technique to make nanofluidic channels. We have to generate very high energy ion beams, and we pass this ion beam through the material we want to make the channels. Then we use chemical etchant to etch away that ion track so that we can get a small hole in it. And then we can study the ion pressure through this. Another thing is like sacrificial template etching method, where we make a new material through metal deposition method or metal oxide deposition method, and between this material we make a sacrificial material. That means by using some chemical etchant, we can etch away selectively that particular purple material, that means the sacrificial material, so that we can get a small nanofluidic channel between the holes. Similarly, we can also use various lithographic technique like photolithography, electron beam, nano imprint, interfacial, interferometric lithography, all these things. So all this technique required very expensive instrumentation and very time consuming, but we cannot make a channel as small as 1 to nanometer. It is impossible to make using this technique. On the other hand, in our technique, we can simply stack our clay sheets one upon another to make such small channels. Now, how do you confirm that we really made a nanofluidic channels just by sticking clay layers? For that, what we have to do, we can put this reservoir here, right, which is connected to our nanofluidic channels with different ions. For example, here we have used HCl, where photons kept ions H plus can go through the channels. If we measure the conductivity between the reservoir, which are not connected directly, connected only to the nanofluidic channel, we can measure conductivity between the channels. And here, whatever we did, we changed the concentration of these electrolytes as a function of, and we measure the conductivity. And here we put concentration of different electrolytes, and here conductivity. We can see that if it is not nanofluidic channels, the conductivity should behave like this blue curve, because in BSc level, probably people are studying, students are studying now, the ionic conductivity is directly proportional to number of ions present in the channels. But in this case, this is how this blue curve looks like. But inside a nanofluidic channel, it is not proportional directly to the concentration. After some time, it is stable. Even though we are changing the concentration from 10 to the power minus 3 molar to 10 to the power minus 6 molar, the concentration, the conductivity did not change. It's remained constant all throughout the concentration. And this is the nanofluidic phenomena. I will explain you what is the why this behavior is coming. For example, whenever you place a solid surface, a solid material inside water, even if you put a spoon in your glass or your glass surface, whatever you're drinking water through glass, always there will create some surfaces on it. For example, your solid surface, some negative surfaces on it. When you have a negative surface charge on your surface, you will draw the positive ions towards it, but repel the negative charge away from it. So it will form a electrical double layer. One layer will have a positive charge, another layer will have a negative charge. And the distance up to which there is a significant charge separation is called a Debye length. Now, everything have a Debye length, but when the channels are very big, the Debye length is small. The properties of the material is determined by the bulk of the material. So this will be insignificant. The nature of the Debye length will be insignificant. But when you make the nanochanels, both these surfaces come so close to each other that Debye length overlap. Now, the properties of the channels will be mainly determined by the nature of the electrical Debye layer, because it is not affecting the bulk solution. That is why in this region, conductivity is not changing. Even though we are changing the concentration outside, the inside concentration is determined by the electrical double layer of the walls. So it is it's formed a nanofluidic channels. That is why the concentration is not changing with changing concentration of the reservoirs. Similarly, we can also do various studies like we know already when a proton is transported from one place to another place. In a glass of water, suppose you put a 1 drop of HCl solution, it will create some H plus ion, or you can say some hydronium ion. This hydronium ion can travel from one place to another place through different mechanism. One is called vehicle mechanism, where it will sit on another molecule, for example, in another water molecules or a ethanol molecule if it is present there, or some other molecules, then it can, whole molecule can move one place to another place. It is called vehicle mechanism. It's used as a vehicle. On the other hand, we have a like Grotthuss mechanism, where the protons are exchanged from one water molecule to another water molecule just through formation and breaking of hydrogen bonds. For this, we can transport from one place to another place. Now we can find out exactly which way protons are transporting from in our channels by measuring their activation energy. So by measuring activation energy, you can find out in our channels protons are moving through Grotthuss kind of hopping mechanism. So I'm not going to stress much on it. Similarly, we can also measure at what speed ions are moving through the channels. For example, we have like a 4 electrodes you can put, you can measure conductivity at this point, point 1 and point 2. And we can, in one side of the channel, we can put HCl. As HCl moves from this to the one end to another end, the conductivity between point 1 and point 2 will change as a function of time. And the time it taken to travel from 1 to 2 can be measured by measuring the conductivity, and we can find out exactly what is the speed of the ions through our channel. These are very important parameters, and we can find that these parameters are very much different than the bulk water. So it's very interesting to know this phenomena, this kind of science in the small channels by using clay membranes. Now we'll have another properties. First property is like we can make channels, and we can explore different properties of the materials under nanofluidic confinement. In second case, we have taken two clay. One is vermiculite, one is montmorillonite. Both of them are 2:1 clay. 2:1 clay means we have one octahedral sheet between two tetrahedral sheets. Both have similar structure. There is a slight difference in structure is that in one case, vermiculite, we have most of the charges are there in the outer layers. So we have negative charge in the outer layer, so it will be attracted to the cations present in the channels, so it will be strongly held to it. It will not expand very easily. On the other hand, we have montmorillonite clay. Here charges are less on the outer layers, so it will be less strongly attracted to the cation inside. So things will expand if we expose it to different external stimuli. So this is like leg strongly held, and this is very tightly held between the layers. Now, if we can again, this is the structure of montmorillonite. It comes in a powder form. Then we can exfoliate them into individual layers and make it a two-dimensional film. Similarly, vermiculite clay also we can exfoliate into an aqueous dispersion and make a two-dimensional film. What we have done now, we have combined these two membranes. One side we have put montmorillonite clay, in another side we have put vermiculite clays. It's a bilayer membrane, means a membrane of two clays, montmorillonite and vermiculates, and both has different properties because they have slight different structure. Now this material, when because it's a different nature of the material combined together, it's very sensitive to external stimuli. For example, when you change the humidity around it, it changes its shape. For example, if you put a very high humid area, it's become a flat to the stripe. But when you change the humidity, for example, we place the humidity decrease to 50%, it's curled down, rolls up like that. And when it goes to 10% humidity, it's completely curled up to a roll like this. And it's a very, very repeatable. Every time we again get back to the 100% humidity, it's again flat, again like rolled up like same with 50% and 10%, it's again rolled up completely. Similarly, it is also very sensitive to temperature. At 23 degrees centigrade, it looks like this band shape, but when you increase the temperature 25 and 34 degrees, it's completely rolled up like a spring. And this is so sensitive that it can even sense our okay, we have a video here. 1 second. we have a video here. You can see it can, if you put it in your hand, because your hand is slightly warmer than normal outside atmosphere, it rolled up. Because the temperature, it can change the task of a human hand. And it again, once you take it away from your hand, again it's opened up. Similarly, this material is also very much sensitive to surrounding atmosphere. Like if you atmosphere has some solvent vapor, for example, here we exposed to some methanol vapor, immediately opened up. And moment we take away the beaker with the methanol vapor, it again goes back to its original shape. So it's a very sensitive to solvent vapor, and it is very, very repeatable. Here we have shown that almost 50 times we have done this thing, and the speed at which bend and opens up is the same. It's not changed much. Similarly, it's characteristic of the solvent we use. For example, we use methanol. It opens up at around 90 degrees per second. If you put in acetone, something around 80, TSA, methanol, ethyl acetate, all these cases, we can have a opening and bending speed at the same rate. Similarly, you can also make a small robot kind of things where we can load this membrane with a weight higher than its own body weight and make it to work. That's by exposing to different methanol vapors. So it's some responsive material, robots kind of things we can make out of it. Now, one of the things like these kind of materials can be used to make some automatic systems where human involvements are not required. So for that, we can use this material for like applications where human presence are not desired. For example, fighting with fire or doing some work in the nuclear atmosphere where so much radiation will be there. When if people go there, it will be not safe for them to work. For that, we need this material to be very, very stable. So what we have shown here that we can make a bilayer membrane cut into two pieces. One piece we have heated at the 500 degrees centigrade. Then again cool down, it becomes same. Now after the heating part, the heated membranes, after heating at 500 degrees centigrade also, the property did not change. You can see the bending speed at different solvent vapors is same. It did not affect by heating. So this material is very, very stable even after heating at very high temperature. Similarly, you can also expose this material to liquid nitrogen or ammonia vapors like toxic chemical vapors, but it did not deteriorate its performance. So here we have done various experiments to find out the mechanism behind such transformation, why it moved its shape or it go to a different shape position in presence of different solvents. So what we found that the vermiculate is one which does not take up the methanol or atmospheric molecules when it exposed. On the other hand, monopolinate is taking up the atmospheric water molecules or solvent molecules and increasing the weight. On the other hand, vermiculate is remain constant. Similarly, when you in presence of high humid area also, vermiculate weight is not changed much. On the other hand, the monopolinate case, it is very much affected by the atmosphere. That we have already shown in the first slide. In this case, that monopolinate has less charge on its surface, so it can easily take up molecules or it can get expanded. Similarly, you can also study the mechanical properties of individual flakes. So you can make individual vermiculate and individual monopolinate clay and expose to different atmosphere and see how their mechanical properties like bending stiffness changes. Here you can see monopolinate has a huge change in the mechanical property, almost 14% in presence of methanol and air. But vermiculate, there is no drastic change in the mechanical property between this atmosphere. Similarly, we can also coat this bilayer membrane with another layers of RGO, like reduced graphene oxide, which is a conducting materials. Now, every time this material changes its shape, we can get an electrical signal out of it. For example, we keep this molecule outside. When there is a temperature change, it will give us an electrical signal which can be read out from a far away place. Similarly, you can also put some electrical voltage here. You can put electrical voltage to bend this material to desired shape. So this is like a very useful material. This could have many applications in the future. For example, you want to place this material somewhere where there is some gas leak or some sudden change in temperature or sudden changes in humidity, it will immediately give us some electrical signals like this. So now this is technologically important things. Now one thing we should remember, whenever we make some technologically important things, it should have long lifetime. If lifetime is very short, it is not very useful. Okay. Now there are two ways of making materials with long lifetime. One is like use very hard materials which will not be deteriorated by all the surrounding atmosphere. But another thing is like our skins or like any biological materials, which is material is not very hard. It can be damaged easily, but it can repair its own damage. It can heal on our damage. For example, our skin is very soft, very easily it can be cut, but it will again repair by itself. So this material, this technologically important material, we can also make it to self-healing. For example, this is the optical microscopy photo of our membrane, where we can make a hole by punching a needle through it. Now, if you put some water into it, wait for some time, this punching hole disappeared. It healed by itself. Similarly, you can cut this material into two parts, put them together and spray some water into it. Again, it healed by itself. Now, if you want to break it a second time, it will not break at the healing part. It will break in a new place. That means the healing part is stronger than the original membrane. For example, this is a healing part. When you try to break it, it will break a new place. This healing part is actually stronger than the original material. Similarly, we can also increase the healing time. For example, we heal it, just put some water and allow it to dry. And if we heat the entire thing at high temperature, the healing process becomes very small, very less. For example, if the temperature is very low, around room temperature, it takes around 90 minutes to 120 minutes to heal the membrane. When you increase the temperature to around say around 90 degree, that it heals within like 10-15 minutes. So it's a very nice process. And now how healing is done, as we have mentioned, that the attraction between the layers is managed by the attraction towards the interlayer cations. And we have tried with different interlayer cations, and we have found that when you put some water in presence of lithium ions can absorb the water and it will open up. It will open up and slowly you can see from the XRD pattern. So this is the initial XRD pattern. Moment we put some water, this XRD will shift to a lower precision degree. That means the space between the layers are increasing, and slowly with increasing time, shape, but also we can heal their properties. For example, sometimes the healing may be looking like its shape has been recovered, but cut one, and one is the black one is the pristine one. There is not much change in their responsive properties even after healing. So now we'll go to a slightly different application of this clay membrane, where we can do a chemical reaction inside nanotubing confinement. I have already mentioned you that properties of the materials or nature or chemistry inside the nanotubing channel is drastically different than the one in the bulk. So far we know that how we do chemical reaction. Sometimes we mix it with a solvent and stir the entire thing. Sometimes we do refluxing. Sometimes we do atmosphere. There are ways we can control how a chemical reaction occurs. For example, if you increase the temperature, the reaction occurs faster. The kinetics will change. If we don't increase the temperature, if you put some ice to lower the temperature, the reaction will take place at slower rate. So these are the way we can control chemical reaction. Now, what we try to see, if this confinement, the chemical confinement, nanotubing confinement, can it change the rate of a chemical reactions? Okay. We have there are already some reports where people can say that people have guessed that if we do a chemical reaction inside a nanotubing confinement as compared to bulk, the rate of the reaction changes. Sometimes even products are different from the bulk one. So here we have tried the same reaction, the same thing we tried with this nanotubing confinement. We have taken some vermiculite clay, dispersed into water and mixed with palladium nanoparticles. These are the nanoparticles you can clearly see from the EM image. These are some AFM characterization to show that these materials are actually 2D materials. Now we have taken a very simple reaction to prove this concept. We have taken nitrophenol molecules and put sodium borohydride to reduce it to aminophenols. And moment we put sodium borohydride, it gives us a phenolate ion, and in presence of catalyst and sodium borohydride, this phenolate ion transform into aminophenol. We choose this reaction because this is a very simple reaction and can be characterized by using simple. Sorry, UV visual spectroscopy. So this large peak at around 400 centimeter inverse is the peak for 4-nitro phenolate ions. Moment we put some catalyst into it, it goes to aminophenol where this small peak appears. That means the disappearance of this peak represent occurrence of the reactions. First, we tried our catalyst in the stirring condition to see whether catalyst is formed or not. Yes, you can see with increasing sodium borohydride concentration, the concentration of the phenolate ion decreases. That means reactions take place. Now we have made a membrane out of it, our catalyst, and make this confinement. You can see, and through this confinement, we want to carry out the reaction. We have characterized through confinement analysis as well as XRD patterns. Now, when we put our reaction mixture, sodium borohydride and nitrophenol, through this membrane and compare the result with the stirring condition. We have now two reactions, one inside the confinement, one inside the stirring condition. Here you can see using like 0.1 molar sodium borohydride. In case of stirring, the reaction did not go. It takes long time, but within 1 minute, the confined reaction just took place, completed the no intermediate left, no starting the left, and that itself come into products. Here you can see at different concentration of sodium borohydride we have tried, which we need minimum of around 0.1 molar sodium borohydride to do the reaction under stirring condition. On the other hand, in the confinement case, nanofluid confinement case, the reaction can be done with 0.02 molar itself. That means we need much lower concentration of sodium borohydride to carry out the reaction. That means the confinement has a huge effect on the way the reaction take place. Similarly, we have carried out multiple times the reactions through the membrane, and we see that almost every case we get around 100% conversion for the nanofluidic channels. Similarly, we can also have like a change the nanocrystalline channels through which the zigzag way our reagent go through the catalyst. If we make a very thicker film, it takes long time for the molecules to go through the channels. If we make a small channel, it goes so quickly, and based on this time, we can measure how this conversion change as a function of time. Similarly, we can find out the exact mechanism, how it helps in doing the reactions. Basically, when you put sodium borohydride through this confinement between these layers, it gets inside the channel. That is why the reaction takes place much more easily, because the sodium borohydride cannot escape. It's a volatile compound. The hydride ions are volatile, so it will try to escape. So we need much more higher amount of sodium borohydride to do the reaction. But inside the confinement, this hydride ion cannot run away. So they has to undergo reaction with the phenol ion to give us the aminophenol. To confirm this, what we have done, we have taken two membrane, and one case, both case like without aminophenol, we just put our sodium borohydride. And in one case, after putting the sodium borohydride, we put our nitrophenol reagent, and we can see the reaction take place when we add separately both this compound. But if we break the membrane after putting the sodium borohydride and again then allowed all the hydrogen ion to go away, then the reaction did not take place. So similarly, we can vary various parameter of the materials. For example, we can change the flake size, we can change the space between the channels to control the reaction conditions, and we can also change the particle size or the nanoparticle, the catalyst size, and depending upon all this parameter, we can vary the outcome of the reaction by changing the nanofluidic confinement. Similarly, we can do the different reactions like nitrobenzenes, 4-nitrotoluenes, all these things also. That is, we can always see that confinement has a definite effect on the reaction kinetics. So with this, I would like to thank. Basically, what I want to convey the message is that by changing the structure of a material, for example, here we have taken the example of a clay, we can change the outcome of a chemical reaction, as well as we can get different properties which are not found in their bulk form. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your informative and interesting talk. Sir, now we have interaction session. May we proceed, sir?
Yeah. Yes, sure, sure.
Dr.
Please.
Raidania, sir?
Yeah. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
If you have any queries or questions, please free to submit in the chat box.
Dear participants, you can also
If you have any... Okay, sir. Over to you, Mrs.
Yeah, please.
If there is any query,
ask me. Yeah.
The students can unmute the participant. Yes, the participant can unmute their mic by themselves, and so they can ask question directly.
Okay, I got a question from Rimpi. Will the double layer or tri-layer clay beam exhibit multiferroic properties? So, clay itself, multiferroic means you are talking about something like a ferroelectric material, right? It should have a ferromagnetic properties and ferroelectric properties, and combined you will get different things. But clay itself is not a ferroic material. If you can include something which will have a good additive field like barium marinate or something like a coaferrite, bilayer double materials, then you can get some kind of properties. But clay itself will not change these properties. So, increase so different kind of materials. For example, if you move ferroelectric materials and ferromagnetic materials,
I think
the electricity, the electrical properties by changing their magnetic field around it. Similarly, you can change the magnetic properties. Okay. Okay, I'll put up the video, then voice will be more clear. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to say, like this multiferroic properties, for multiferroic properties, like we need materials with two different properties. For example, we need ferromagnetic properties and ferroelectric properties. If you combine these properties, then you can get multi. So it will be difficult to get such property as such unless you dope with something else. This is my response to question of Rimpi.
If any questions, unmute yourself.
If you have any question, you can also send me by email or something anytime if you feel like asking something.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Have you prepared any devices using this plates till now, or is it under process? As because you have already mentioned that it is sensitive to temperature, sensitive to moisture, and sensitive to different gases in different way. And so, have you already designed or already completed by any device you have prepared or designed?
Yeah. So thank you. So actually, we have made some device for publication purpose to prove the concept that this can be used into this one, but for commercial purpose, not yet, because we need to overcome certain challenges to make a new kind of device, because this will be a completely electronics less sensor. So many things we have to take into consideration. For example, normally whatever sensor it comes today, it has it should have like a electronic component in it. but this is
Voice is not coming. Kalyan, voice is not coming.
this
Voice is.
hello.
Yeah,
Am I mute
yeah.
now?
Yeah.
So,
You are audible now.
okay, so what I mean is for the publication purpose, we have made some device. We proved the hypothesis. For commercial purpose, we have not made any commercial kind of things yet because we need to overcome certain hurdles for that.
One more question. Have you, as you have mentioned regarding clay, have you selected a particular type of clay, or any kind of clay can be used in that purpose, or whatever that?
We have used a very particular clay. Like we have used so far two clay. One is montmorillonite and one is vermiculite. These are very purified form of clay. It's not raw from the nature. We can buy it from Sigma Aldrich in the purified form, and then we can use their properties to tune the final outcome. These are completely pure form of clay in particular properties.
Thank you. Mandy.
So for
Sir,
I
one
have
question
another.
asked by Satyajit Burman. What
Yeah, I
gives
can.
the 100% recyclability after using 4-5 times?
Probably he's asking about our last part of the case where we did a chemical reaction under monoclinic confinement, right? So what I want to say you, like in this case, we didn't after program. Yes, yeah. So here actually I don't see any reason why it will not be recyclable, because every time we are mixing with sodium borohydride and phenolate together and just passing through the channels by using a vacuum filter. But catalysts are still there, channels are still there, everything is same. Just it will take less than a minute for the solvent reactant to go through the membrane. Okay, we have a membrane, we just filter it. For example, your filter paper is your catalyst. If you put a vacuum, how long it will take to filter the materials? Very less. So the filter paper will still have the same property. 4 or 5 times is actually very less. We can do it much more higher time. We can just keep on filtering your materials. That will give us the product. Basically, what we tried to do, we have used a filter paper as a reaction, and every time we filter our reactants, we get a product. I hope you got my answer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, another case I got. Why healing part is more stronger than the original materials? Yeah, thank you very much. So when we heal the material, we put two membrane like edge to edge connections. Okay. So what we believe, like at that position, it's actually like a two membranes placed one upon another. Now, when you heal it, it completely mix up. It's completely like a new materials. But at this time, healing part is thicker, because here we put two material head on, one upon another. But on the original part, still you have a one stripe. In that particular pipe, we have a double layer of stripe. It's like stitching. Suppose you are stitching two clothes. During the stitching part, you have to put two layers together, right? And the original part, it will be still one layer. If the stitching is very good, very strong, then when you pull it, it's natural that the one layer things will break, not the place where two layers are there. If stitching is perfect, But if stitching is not perfect, then when you pull too close, the stitching will break. The material will not break. I hope I have answered your questions. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. If anyone have queries, please free to ask. Unmute yourself and then ask the question.
So Mohit Kumar has asked one question: can we use clay to remove dye from water? Yes. As I have shown in the introduction part, we have proof. Some archaeological proof is that people have got some painting saying that people use clay to remove this dyes and everything. 5000 BC. Around 5000 BC, people have got
Sorry,
some proof.
voice is not clear.
Clear,
Okay,
clear. Voice is clear.
okay. Am I audible now?
Audible,
Hello?
audible. You are audible clearly.
Okay, thank you. So it is like Mohit is asking, can we use clay to remove dyes from water? So what I'm telling you, like we have proof. People have from archaeological proof. People have found that people use 5000 BC itself to remove dyes from water. And I think there are some papers also to remove dyes, but the efficiency I'm not very sure, because modern materials would have definitely more efficiency in removing dyes than the clay minerals. And we can also modify these clays to make it more efficient in removing dyes.
Okay, thank you, sir. One more question. Sir, do we have to add any solvent uh, to heal
Okay. So in this case,
it, or it
we
will
don't.
heal automatically?
In this case, we have to add little bit of water. If
Yes,
it
sir,
is
please.
yeah, if it is very humid conditions, then we don't have to eat. We can just sprinkle some water or spray some water around it. Or if it is dry condition, we have to put a slight drop of water. We need some water molecule to heal it, because in presence of water, it will swell and form like a new materials. We need a little bit of water here. Either we can spray water around the material for healing, or we need to add a drop directly onto it. Thank you. Thank you, Subhadeep.
Thank you, sir. Okay, no questions are there. So we
Yes,
are
Sneha
almost at
has raised when Sneha never has raised her hand. So I think
Okay.
there may be some question.
Yeah, please.
yes,
Sneha
please
never.
free
Is
to
there
ask
any
Neha
question?
near.
You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Unfortunately, I can't hear her.
She has
You
raised
can
her
also
hand, but
submit it in the chat box.
Yeah.
we will. Kalyan, can we share your email address
Yeah,
to the
sure.
participants? No? So we
Yeah,
will send.
yeah, definitely.
The participant can ask their question or throw mail to you.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we are almost
Thank
at
you.
the end of the session. So
Excuse me, Korobin. Gauravi, can you hear
Yes,
me?
Yes,
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 yes.
sir.
I want to, first of all, I want to congratulate Dr. Kolyan Raidangia sir for
Thank
his
you.
nice words. And I wish his bright future ahead. Sir,
Thank you.
I want to ask you that last year in the month of December, as I have mentioned in the introduction part, can you please say briefly something about that project?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. So that is like another nanofluidic phenomena. Okay, but
Uh,
there we
uh,
did not use clay. We use a different materials. If you pass water, if you apply some pressure or something to flow water through nanofluidic channels, it generates a potential difference between
yes,
the two things. So basically we can get some electric voltage, and we have
yes,
developed this technique here to generate some electric voltage by just simply running our water taps. So simply by flowing the water tap through our device, we can get some electric voltage. But that voltage is not enough to like completely independent. You can simply cannot put on your tape and run like your TV, inverter, everything. But it should be sufficient to charge your phone or something like that. And but depending upon the amount of water we are wasting, like you're not wasting using daily in all our household, if we get at least some amount of voltage, some amount of current, it will be a great help. It will be like a bonus point, additional power. We cannot go independent because of this thing. So this phenomenon is called electrokinetic streaming potential. Streaming potential, we all probably heard the streaming potential. It's
yes,
related to electrical double layer, because when you move water through a nanofluidic channels, we break the electrical double layer. So because of this breaking of electrical double layer, we get some voltage. So that was the work there actually.
okay, thank you very much, sir. Uh,
Thank you.
so we'll look forward to
And
hear from you in near future also.
one more like in-person talk or interaction
Thank
with
you, sir.
you all and students, because webinar is very like it's like a completely in dark. I don't. It's very difficult to interact properly. But anyways, this is the situation now.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. We are almost at the end of the session. I would like to request Mr. Biswadit Nath, sir, to give the vote of thanks. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Korobi. On behalf of Department of Chemistry, Science College, Kokrajhar, as well as Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Science College, Kokrajhar, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to Dr. Kalyan Raidongia, Associate Professor of Department of Chemistry, IIT Guwahati, for his nice presentation, nice and valuable and knowledgeable presentation for the students as well as different faculties joined from different parts of India and as well as mostly from different districts of Assam. And I think they are benefited from your lecture. And I'd like to thank again for investing your valuable time for Science College Kokrajhar in this very situation of COVID-19 pandemic. And as a necessity for knowledge transfer in a constant matter, you are transferring your valuable knowledge with us and you're giving your valuable knowledge. So thank you, sir, for your kind presence in online mode
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank the different participants from Uttarakhand, Maharashtra, West Bengal, and the different districts of Assam and different colleges, different faculty members from different colleges, as well as the different students from different And we have participants from Meghalaya also, and different districts of northeastern regions also, states of. And I would like to thank them, as because without their joining online mode, this webinar is not a successful one. And as they have stay constantly joined with us or throughout this session of this webinar, I would like to thank all the participants for their kind presence. I would like to thank our college authority, particularly Principal Sir Dr. Ramananda Sinha Sir, for his inaugural speech and his encouragement and doing this webinar. And due to his kind effort, this webinar is going to happen, or the departments are going to organize these webinars. So I'd like to thank him once again. And directly or indirectly, due to his this webinar is going to success, and the help of them are very much important in this seminar. But their names has to be mentioned. But unfortunately, so many are there. So I'm directly thanking them directly without mentioning their name, and thank you again. And lastly, again, I want to thank Dr. Kalyan Raidongia and all the participants. Thank you. And over to Karavi.
Thank you for this opportunity to interact with some people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I may request our HOD ma'am, Dr. Sharmishta Chakraborty, to end the session. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Karubi. A very positive mind. We are concluding, and thank you again, Dr. Kalyan Raidungia, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, actually, this is our really, this is our pleasure that you have got your, you have given your valuable time, and as well as all the participants also, they have given their valuable time in this webinar, and especially with a positive set of academic footsteps, we are concluding our webinar here. Thank you, sir. Thank you all, one and all the participants, and thank you especially our honorable
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Kalyan. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all for joining us, and have a nice day to all. Oh, we have also provide feedback link in the chat box or WhatsApp group. So after submit the form, you will get your e-certificate. Participant, please fill out the feedback form, and then you will get the e-certificate. Thank you.
कल्याण बोलना आउट होला तो